All right, next, privilege escalation. Now, as you may guess, this deals with elevated privileges. So we're going to obtain elevated privileges either whether it be admin or root, and that's going to be on the target host. So there's a couple ways to achieve this. We can either dump of the SAM file, right, the security accounts manager, right, the local accounts file on that Windows box. We could retrieve the password file that's an etc password, right, on a Linux box. We could look for insecure file shares, because a lot of times file shares will have inside of those file shares sensitive information that we may be able to use to either brute force the password or may have a listing of passwords. Who knows, right? We can also do something called DLL preloading. So some applications, especially if they exist on a file share, if we're in a large environment, the application may be installed and it may have DLLs on a file share. If that file share is in fact insecure, as we just mentioned, it may be possible to go in and replace DLLs, legitimate DLLs, with our hacked versions, so that when that person loads that application, that DLL will run and inject that elevated privilege and allow a hacker to come in basically through the side door. All right, and then we also have insecure or weak security on processes. So it just depends, again, the nature of the system, what operating system it is, what flavor and so forth, and what the permissions are for those specific either security accounts or processes in general. And as you may guess, a lot of these vulnerabilities, these zero-day attacks and so forth, once that happens, if a perpetrator is able to either go in through, say, a website or an insecure file share, DLL preloading, or any of these different methods, if they're able to execute some type of an attack, many times it then provides them with the same permissions as the user that was on the system when that vulnerability was basically perpetrated. So if you're logged into your system as admin and you then have an attack launched against you that's successful, well, then the attacker can come in as admin, which is one of the reasons why a generally accepted security practice is to not let users log into their system and typically use their systems as admin. All right, general best practice is to log in as a typical user, and then whenever you want to do admin level functions, of course, invoke that admin account when you're prompted for it. But that way, if you're a user and some type of vulnerability gets executed on your system, it only operates at the level that you're logged in as.